Hello my snacks, welcome back. We begin our collage of updates today with a story that was talked about 2 months ago. You may have recalled it began in r/teachers with a teacher wondering how the hell to deal with a classroom where you have 19 students and only 5 different names. Well, while it seemed rather resolved in the last 2 months, there has been a recent update that has escalated this scenario to literal child abuse and kidnapping. So, for those unfamiliar with the story, we'll begin at the beginning, but I will leave timecodes down below for you to skip ahead if you are already familiar with things. With that said, let's begin. So, I am dealing with a disaster of a roster for an after-school club. I have 19 students, all boys between the ages of 6 and 13, elementary to middle school. There are 5 different first names. I have 7 Liams. 2 are literally named the same first, middle, and last. I have 5 Noahs. 3 have the same middle name, 2 have the same last name that starts with the same letter. I have 3 Mateo. 2 have the same last name and no middle name. I have 2 William, and 1 is William Noah, just for schmitz and giggles. And lastly, I have 2 Sams. Not Samuel, just Sam. The first day, I sat them all down and tried to figure out what we could call them to prevent chaos. It started descending into chaos. Trying to save the afternoon, I told the boys that we could all have special club names. The boys were all for it, so I used a fantasy name generator and let them all pick mad scientist names. They were thrilled. One of the Mateos, especially, because he gets called Big Mateo, and he's sensitive about being overweight. Well, except for one of Liam's mums. Of course, one of the Liams, who has the same first, middle, and last name, is livid. She called the principal and wants his name to remain the same, and me to call all the boys by their actual names. Like, I don't see even how that's possible. Of the 5 names I have to work with, 19 kids, none except William, really lend themselves to nicknames, and with so many repeats in last initials, it'd be a jigsaw puzzle. Admins are with me on this because the boys are all from different grades. It really hasn't been an issue overall, but the one parent is trying to start a war over me whitewashing her kid's name. Liam is white. I let her know that since the other boys were happy with their mad scientist names, he could be Dr. Liam. She wants me to scratch all the names, or she's going to get the district involved. Other parents don't give a schmidt because it's after-school care. I am not a full-time teacher, so I don't even know what the heck to do. The audacity of this Karen to decide and dictate whether or not all the boys get to be called their nicknames. Like, damn, I didn't realize all 19 kids were personally hers. Thankfully, there's some people who can see a workaround to this, though, in the comments. Liam, whose mother is a cunt, please stop talking. You're distracting regular Liam, normal Liam, plain Liam, original Liam, extra crispy Liam, and Liam with a nice mom. You could try calling William Liam for short. In all seriousness, people bring up the fact that, look, just call Liam Liam. At least that might appease the mother to some degree. But maybe she's just offended by the mad scientist terminology of it all, which the OP does reply here. This is a science experiment after-school class. Therefore, the mad scientist names fit really, really well. So what does the OP do? Do they decide to remove all the nicknames, or do they fight on and end up dealing with the district? Well, that brings us to the first update. Buckle up, Buttercup, because this is one wild ride. It's Sunday, and I'm posting because I needed a minute to breathe. Tuesday went well. Used Dr. Liam. Contacted the district, who was like, "You're an after-school contractor. Leave us the frick alone." Mum still is being an a-hole, so I invited her to the club. I have 2 parent volunteers. So Wednesday, she came, sat in the back, and scowled the entire fricking time. A couple of the younger boys were very nutty. I sat them in a corner on the beanbags, gave them a snack, and told them to take a minute. Turns out they were exhausted and both fell asleep. A couple older boys had some interpersonal issues to work out, and they were off to another corner. One boy called his mum and begged me to let him study. Fine, whatever. Room has 4 corners. Class proceeds with about 11 students actually participating. Eventually, the boys who were dealing with whatever rejoin us, as well as the boys studying. Now take note of all that. Not all students participating at first, some going off to do their own thing for a little bit. And note how it wasn't the teacher who made them do this. Well, not completely, you know what I mean. At this point, immediately after class, she pulled poor Dr. Liam and 3 other of my students deregistered. This should have been a sign of things to come. So Thursday, I come in and get called into the office. There's a lawyer, the mom, and then someone I didn't recognize. They are from Child Protection. Kraken Mum's friends, apparently. Now, I'm not going to pretend I'm colorblind or somehow magically immune to noticing race. My kids are mostly white or white Hispanics with 2 Asians. Evil Mum starts making accusations that I'm name-calling the kids, or she didn't approve of Professor Calamity or Dr. Demon, and that I've forced all the children of color out, while I only let the white kids participate. She has photos to prove it. My sleepy boys were 1 Asian, 1 black Hispanic. The warring boys were 1 dark black Hispanic, 1 tan Hispanic, and the study-stressed boy was Asian. The rest of the boys are white passing Hispanic, white or white passing mixed. Her Liam was very subdued. I honestly hadn't realized the way this occurred. Like, it did look bad from the photos, but in the end, all but the 2 sleepyheads joined in again. The volunteer mums in the group had checked with home and both parents had said to let the boys sleep. Like, what the frick am I supposed to do?
Hey you kids, wake up! If I let you enjoy yourselves, I'm a racist!
Nobody in the room except Kraken Mum was really amused. She thought she had us over a barrel. Wasted the entire fricking after-school time to hash it out. Like, I'm shaking and ready to quit on the spot. Principal smooths it out. Lawyer assures we have nothing to worry about. Child Protection was pretty annoyed because Kraken seemed to make them think she was exposing some kind of crazy situation. So Friday, I go in to find a reporter and a camera. I let them know that they had better not publish any footage because Kraken didn't have permission to take the footage. I got the principal involved, who called the lawyer, and again, we wasted most of the time sorting this out. However, because Kraken posted on all the town boards on Neighborhood and Facebook and whatever fricking else she could find, things ended up working out and biting her in the butt. Now, 3 parents pulled their boys on Wednesday because they aligned with Kraken. Well, on Friday afternoon, after I get in, I discover I have 5 girl besties from grade 4 who want to come. And since the cap is 20, I'm really happy to have them. It's not the best balance, but 1/4 is closer to my normal 1/3. And as of Saturday night, I have 2 new volunteers for class, and a business, owned by the dad of the Asian studying boy, is going to buy us 2 extra robots so the kids can be in teams of 3 to 5 rather than 5 to 7, and one mum has donated 3 of her older iPads for the kids to program on. Many people in the community are polarized. Fortunately, it's mostly in my direction, but my head is still spinning, and I don't think I could think up any more drama than has occurred. I'm looking forward to Monday, with the new kids and a fresh slate. But it wasn't a fresh slate to be. Well, fresh in the sense of fresh chaos. So we move on to update number 2 with a little addressing of some things from the previous story. Assuring people that yes, you can teach robotics to young kids. Not sure why anyone is even questioning that. Some strangers genuinely thinking they could get a free iPad from a stranger on the internet if they just asked? Okay, welcome to choosing beggars, I suppose. In regards to student classification and privacy, allegedly all that we're about to hear now is in public knowledge, so it's okay for them to talk about it. And as an independent contractor, they're actually not really legally bound by anything. So this is all free for them to ramble about if they wish. As well as going into more detail about the cultural significance of everyone in the class. Honestly, not really relevant information to what we're all here for, which is the Dr. Liam scenario. Now take a mental note, this was about a month later from the last update. So last week, after not seeing him for a month or so, Liam tears into my classroom, full speed, when regular class is out, but before I begin. Kraken was speaking to his teacher, and he told Kraken he needed to get something from his locker across school. He is sobbing. He comes to me. Please give my dad his money back. I want to see him. If you make her happy, I can see him. I'm actual mad scientist name I gave him. Remember me? And yes, I remember him. I kind of what the frick and then got the whole story. So remember, this transpired last month. Now, I don't have access to students or records. Again, I'm a contractor. I wouldn't be able to know this was happening. And none of the kids are in his homeroom, so I didn't hear the scuttlebutt. Dr. Liam's dad was pretty ticked off about her crusade and bashing of the club, a social media stunt, which is why his business decided to donate. Yes, though I couldn't find the comment that did highlight this moment. The OP did mention that she got an anonymous donation from what she later tracked down to be the husband of the Kraken. Clearly, he wasn't on board with how she was behaving in all this and was trying to silently apologize. But since she does the books for him, she caught it. Some of you mentioned she's the head of the church. Well, it's the opposite. She's queen bee at the gym/nutrition and a rabid atheist. Dr. Liam's dad decided that he'd bring Dr. Liam to church one day because he wanted his kid to learn how to be kind and moral. So, Kraken told Dr. Liam, after he went to church, that she'd take him out for ice cream. Instead, she took him several hours and a state over to her mum's house. He hadn't been home or gotten to talk to anyone he knew basically since my last post. Since they are married, Dr. Liam's dad couldn't do anything except a wellness check. I have my own kids, and I cannot imagine not having seen them since my last post. Frick Kraken. Fast forward to last week, Dr. Liam was back to get his stuff from school. I called 911 after learning this, not wishing to release a crying kid back to Kraken, saying I feared for his safety. Because I really did, since I knew she didn't like me. Also, I worried about my other students who were entering the classroom. So, I let the volunteers know, pull in a teacher who was in a nearby classroom to watch mine, and book it with Dr. Liam to the principal's office. We got the principal all set. He called Dr. Liam's dad in a very malicious compliance. Since Dr. Liam's mum withdrew him and thus was no longer a valid emergency contact, he called Dr. Liam's dad. The secretary said that she wished she could pack around. She's at least 80 years old, so it was very cute. Okay, maybe not to some. But I knew that old lady would defend Liam, and I couldn't love her more. I swear they had the entire police force show up, like plus some fire trucks. They get all the bust kids off. They basically go into a full lockdown. I'm not sure what the principal said, but apparently Kraken had said something to a couple of Liam's teachers, making them upset, that they told the secretary even before I arrived. Kraken did evade arrest, but Dr. Liam was escorted to his dad, who was just sobbing, happy to see his kid. His lawyer showed up, and it seems like it's going to be bad news for Karen. Temporary restraining order was granted for the school. Dr. Liam, his father, and paternal grandparents. Dr. Liam left with his dad. Now, his dad has asked me to take Liam back into class. He hasn't done anything for over a month, not even homeschool. It's going to be tough to do anything. I haven't decided yet because the students in class, after 5 to 6 weeks, are in a tremendously different place. The kid needs to heal. I did tell him I'd give him access to my pandemic video version of the course and see what I could do about sourcing a robot for him and joining back in when ready. I have a coupon at one of those things remembered sort of deals, and I'm thinking of getting Dr. Liam's mad scientist name on a notebook to give to him, since apparently that's his nickname he referred to himself as when his mum kidnapped him. So Dr. Liam's dad seems to have good support. I don't plan to update, but will if anything crazy happens. And that so far is the story. Thankfully, it is a good ending. Something that can be rather rare with these sort of updates, but nonetheless, happy for Liam and happy for his father. But thus ends the weird tale that was just trying to nickname some kids in your classroom resulting in a kidnapping. Like, wow, scratch that off your bingo card. Anyway, that will be the end of today's little short update video of sorts. Thank you as always for watching, and until next time, you be good, drink some water, it's healthy for you, love your face, and yep, don't eat your own poo. Bye-bye!